Rodgers. Then you're running into Cam Newton, Russell Wilson. Like, you're going to keep finding talent every generation just by the sheer amount of bodies that pass through that sport. Okay, there's going to be great marketable guys. All right, now we're talking about Steph and Durant and Westbrook, and coming on the tail end of his prime, but still really good is LeBron. And before LeBron, we had Kobe, and before Kobe, we had Jordan. We just keep going back forever. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, until you get to the beginning of basketball, football time. With golf, you're going to have those huge gaps, I think, because it's an individual sport. And someone may have a great run, but the consistency that it takes to be great at golf, it's much more difficult. You're listening to AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. I'd like to tell you that on the other side, we're going to be talking about UTC softball. Let's see if we can get in touch with Coach and see how that's going. We'll be back with more Clutch with Keon Rose.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. Finding just the right place to live can be a daunting task. Stop your search. In Chattanooga, the place to live is Cross Creek Villas for under $1,000 and available for immediate move-in. You can enjoy this 2-bedroom split layout, over 1,000 square feet, 9-foot ceilings, an extra large patio or balcony. And don't forget to ask about their preferred employer program. Cross Creek Villas is a gated community offering a 24-hour fitness facility, a beautiful pool and hot tub, and Cross Creek Villas is pet friendly. Stroll the pet park with your best friend and enjoy the free use of their business center and clubhouse. Plus, if you mention you heard this on the radio, your application fee is free. Cross Creek Villas, close to downtown off of Highway 58. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com. That's crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. That's 894-0446. Redefine the way you live at Cross Creek Villas. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. Cross Creek Villas.
Just imagine not a cloud in the sky. It's the perfect day on the water. You could be enjoying boating with friends or wetting your line to catch a fish. Or maybe it's just you and that special someone on a sunset cruise. All of this without the hassle of owning a boat, with your membership in the Carefree Boat Club. As you relax and spend time with the ones you care about, you have the peace of mind of knowing you're a member of the Carefree Boat Club. Weekends were made for relaxing and being hassle-free, just like the Carefree Boat Club. Let us take the worry out of boat ownership. No matter if you enjoy fishing, skiing, cruising the lake, or maybe even an overnight adventure, we have a boat for you at the Carefree Boat Club. Start making memories today. Call 423-619-7156 to join. Boating season is here, so do not wait. Call now, 423-619-7156. Carefree Boat Club is located at the Harbor Lights Marina, 9718 Hickson Pike.
Poof! Just like a magician, Les's Pawn Shop can turn the stuff that's just lying around in your house and garage into cold, hard cash. Les's Pawn Shop on Highway 58 in Chattanooga will buy, sell, and scrap anything of value. Hey, and get this. If you're looking for anything from guns and jewelry to guitars and tools, you'll find it at Les's Pawn Shop. Quality pre-owned items. Les's Pawn Shop on Highway 58 in Chattanooga also buys gold and silver at top prices. And if they don't have it, they can order it for you. Les's Pawn Shop, Highway 58 in Chattanooga, where you'll get top dollar for your stuff. And you'll be surprised at the wide variety of our unique items. So the next time you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or scrap anything, from jewelry to coins and currency, guns and ammo, music and tools, stop by Les's Pawn Shop, 4742 Highway 58, Chattanooga. Call 702-5868. That's 702-5868. LesPawnShop.com. That's Les with one S, pawnshop.com. Poof! Just like a magician, Les's Pawn Shop can turn the stuff that's just lying around in your house and garage into cold, hard cash.
Expect some lingering clouds out there through the nighttime. Not as cool. Overnight lows into the upper 50s. Now for your Tuesday, a warmer day. Could see a spotty shower. Still not bad, though. Highs near 80 with scattered showers and thunder showers a little more likely later Wednesday afternoon and highs into the upper 70s. Call the Vein and Laser Center at Hamilton Medical Center in Dalton for a free varicose and spider vein screening. It's a limited time offer. Call 706-270-VEIN. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. An explosion rocked a house on the side of Big Ridge. Multiple fire crews were dispatched, including 1622 and 6. They were on scene. Battalion Chief Chris Warren called for an additional fire engine from Station 10 due to the size of the structure, which was on fire. An aggressive fire attack did manage to put the fire out. Smoke, water, and fire damage was confined to the basement. The homeowner said he heard an explosion, saw fire, called 911. Not clear what the cause of the fire is at this moment. Gary Simpson, the man accused of kidnapping his niece, Carly Trent, has appeared in court today. Simpson's accused of picking up Carly Trent from school under false pretenses. He's charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and custodial interference. His bond has been set at $1 million. A police officer who's been placed on administrative leave without pay and has been arrested says that he was a victim of domestic assault, but an investigation reveals that his girlfriend has suffered from injuries from an unknown source. The investigation is still ongoing. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot News Talk Radio. Hot News Talk 1240.
Okay, so rather unfortunately, we will not be talking UTC softball at this particular juncture in time because I was not able to get a hold of Coach. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to push that till tomorrow. I will figure out what it is that I've done wrong in this particular communications nightmare. Agree with which I graduated. So we'll figure out what's going on there, but I apologize for promising you softball and softball interviews and then not delivering on that promise. But I do have something else that I'd like to talk about instead. It's a tale of two Russells. We could include our news director, Russell Stroud, and make it three Russells, but he doesn't play sports. So we're going to sadly leave him out of the equation. But Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, and Russell Westbrook, point guard of the Oklahoma City Thunder, have two differing personalities, shall we say, which is fine because everybody's different. Everybody's personality is different. That's what makes life great, that I am not anything like you. And hopefully, if you're sane, you're not anything like me. So you've got these two guys and their approaches to life being about as different as it could be. Russell Wilson, he's humble, he's down to earth, he always says the right thing, he never says anything wrong. Russell Westbrook just is pure, unadulterated rage. He walks and talks like a gigantic angry person, which he is. And so when he says things, it's almost always unfiltered. He almost always says the thing that's not necessarily politically correct. He was asked the other day about guarding Steph Curry, and he said that it wasn't anything he'd never seen before. And he is right? Like, he's guarded Steph Curry. They played 4 times in the regular season. He's guarded Steph Curry every time in the regular season. It's not new to him. Plus, Damian Lillard is a player that's comparable to Steph. He's guarded him before. Kyrie Irving guarded him before. Like, it's not really what he said isn't necessarily out of the realm of possibility, nor is it that unreasonable. It just sounds cocky and arrogant, so we don't like it. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson is at the University of Wisconsin. He's giving his graduation commencement speech, and he graduated from there. He transferred from North Carolina State, if you recall. He transferred to Wisconsin from North Carolina State, and Russell Wilson had a story about how he wound up at Wisconsin. Russell Wilson is my height. He's 5'10", which is, you know what, average height to tall in real life. It's short in the NFL. It's very short in the NFL. 5'10", they're very, very few quarterbacks below 6'1" are successful. Okay? You can't see over the offensive line. You can't see over much, really. And then on top of that, you're small, so when guys hit you, you are destroyed. Yet Russell Wilson, he's found a lot of success in the NFL. He's been incredible. He's been really, really good. Okay? And part of it is the huge chip on his shoulder that people have been telling him he's too small to play his position his entire life. And he's overcome that. Now, I think that Russell Wilson has exaggerated that a little bit. And so I want to read you something about this story because I think it's interesting what it is that we'll accept in sports. I've told you all the time, I don't want fake. That's what I don't want. I don't mind arrogant. I don't mind humble. Okay? Some people call the humble guys boring. I don't think that's fair. That's just their personality. But I don't want you to pretend to be humble if that's not who you are, because we can tell, right? Like when LeBron James says things with humility, nobody believes it. Because there's no humility there. People have been telling you you're the greatest since you were in high school, and it's been true for at least the last decade. You know, since 2006, LeBron James has been like the best player at basketball. I think you can't disagree with that. At least for a decade, that's been true. Okay, you could argue at some points the backside of Kobe's prime. You could argue at some points Kevin Durant. You could argue now Steph. But continuously through that span, LeBron has been one of the best, if not the best guys in the game. So when LeBron says something with humility, I don't buy it at all. So here comes Russell Wilson, who says things with humility frequently. And you tend to buy it more because of who he is and the way that he talks. And he's very soft-spoken, and his height and the position that he plays, which is that people have been doubting you. Like, nobody's been telling you you're the greatest your entire life. You've had to overcome stuff. So obviously we believe that there's a sense of humility there. But there is this phoniness about Russell Wilson. It's just my opinion, but there is this phoniness about it because nobody talks like that when he's in interviews or when he's talking to reporters. There is a level of humility that does not compute. It isn't actually reality-based. Nobody talks like this. You're just not going to find anybody who's using those words to describe any of the things that he is talking about. So here's Russell Wilson telling the story of how it is that he found himself at Wisconsin. And the story obviously exaggerates and emphasizes the gigantic chip on his shoulder, as there should be, when you believe in something and no one believes in you. But here's the deal. Here's the quote from the speech. Let me just jump into it. The summer before my senior year of college, I'm playing minor league baseball. I called my football coach at NC State and said, "Hey, coach, I'd like to come back for my senior year." He told me I wasn't coming back. He said, "Listen, son, you're never going to play in the National Football League. You're too small. There's no chance. You've got no shot. Give it up." Of course, I'm on the side of the phone saying, "So you're telling me I'm not coming back to NC State? I won't see the field," he said. "No, son, you won't see the field." Now, this was everything I had worked for, and now it's completely gone. If I wanted to follow my dream, I had to leave NC State. I had no idea if I would get a second chance anywhere else, which would be an amazing story. And the chip would be justifiable if it were true. This is fiction, okay? This is the situation that Coach O'Brien at NC State found himself. Tom O'Brien found himself in this position where Wilson wanted, according to the CBS Sports article, Russell Wilson wanted to continue pursuing a dream playing baseball and wasn't willing to commit to just football. On the other hand, you had Mike Glennon, who was also a legitimate NFL quarterback prospect. He's now backing up Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay, and he'll probably be a backup for a long time and maybe even have a shot at resurrecting that career of his, who was also eligible as a graduate transfer and probably ready to leave if Wilson returned. He had 2 years of eligibility compared to Russell's 1, so Coach O'Brien essentially went with the 2 years of eligibility with a quarterback that he thought could be as good as Matt Ryan. Yeah, I'd take that too. You know, Russell Wilson's a gamble. He was wrong. Mike Glennon turned out to regress a little bit as a quarterback. He wasn't great. He didn't look great a lot of times. And Russell Wilson elevated Wisconsin to new heights. But the issue here still stands that Tom O'Brien did not tell Russell Wilson that he could not be an NFL quarterback, nor did Tom O'Brien dismiss Russell Wilson because he thought he was too short or too small or couldn't play the position. He just looked at the situation and said, I've got to choose one. If I choose Russell Wilson, I lose Mike Glennon's 2 years of eligibility. If I choose Mike Glennon, I lose Russell Wilson and his 1 year of quarterback eligibility. And so the decision was kind of made for him. He's like, I'm going to take the guy that's got 2 years that I can actually play for 2 years, because Russell Wilson was about to be a senior. So the humility coming from this is based on a phony story. It's not even an accurate story. It's not an out-and-out lie. Yeah, the coach didn't want you back, but he didn't want you back because he didn't think you were ever going to make it or that you weren't even good. He just looked at 2 guys and said, this guy can play for 2 years. This guy can play for 1 year. I'm going to take the 2 years. It's crazy that that's the story that we're running with, and to tell it to an entire graduation ceremony of people, well, that's just ridiculous. You're listening to AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. I would contrast Russell Wilson and his phony humility to Russell Westbrook, who is just going to say whatever he wants. He gets into beefs with the media frequently. There is at least one Oklahoma City reporter that he just flat out doesn't like and will never answer the questions of. And I enjoy that so much. I'll take that because he believes it. Russell Westbrook is not faking all of his confidence and arrogance. That he's sitting there, he's doing a pregame high five with, I don't even remember who. It might have been Andre Roberson. And Charlie Villanueva tries to step into the middle of the high five. And Russell Westbrook shoves him out of the way with one hand while continuing the high five with the other hand, never skipping a beat. Don't mess with Russell Westbrook. That guy's a bad dude. I like that because that's genuinely who he is. He is just an angry person playing basketball. He dunks really hard. I like that. Russell Wilson is a great football player. I like watching him play. I think that what he does and his skill set at his size, it's Doug Flutie-esque. It's Fran Tarkenton-esque. I mean, we've seen very few guys play the game the way Russell Wilson plays the game. But off the field, there's something up about that guy. If you asked me which of the 2 guys I would rather hang out with, I would have to hang out with Russell Westbrook because I don't really know what Russell Wilson's about. Okay? Yeah, no, I understand that you've got a lot of faith in God. That's not the issue there. Your Christianity. I respect it. I myself am a Christian, but I don't understand is this humility that seems to be manufactured. Like this is your brand now. And, you know, I only say this. Don't ever get into trouble. Because people take that brand stuff seriously and think that's who you are and think that they know you. And people have done this. They did it with Tiger Woods. We believed for some reason that Tiger Woods was a guy that we knew. Straight up. We just knew. Plain and simple, Tiger Woods was just a nice, good guy. And that turned out to not be the case. Tiger Woods, you know, stepped out on his wife multiple times and did a number of things that I'm sure he's not proud of either. And it's unfortunate, but Tiger Woods is still the same guy that we were rooting for before. And I still root for Tiger Woods because I was always rooting for Tiger Woods, the golfer. You're listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. That story caught my interest. It was very interesting. But here's the thing, too, because there was a previous story, which is that, the story about Russell Wilson not having anybody believe in him. Jason Lockenfora wrote an article on CBS Sports as well about it that just smacks of one thing that I dislike in the media, which is the puff piece. It's here's the article title. Here's a valuable lesson. Here's a valuable life lesson. Stop selling Russell Wilson short. Okay? Russell Wilson is a good quarterback. You know, I don't know how many fans have sold the guy short. He's already got a Super Bowl. But stop selling Russell Wilson short. If that doesn't smack of off-season football piece, nothing on earth ever will. That is off-season as all get out. We are just writing things now because we want to write about football and we don't know what else to write about. Coming up in a series against the Toronto Raptors, Miami Heat. We'll get more into that tomorrow, but I want to talk about it a little bit because I saw a question, and they teach you this when you're writing news headlines. This is what they teach you. Never write a news headline as a question. Because if you have to ask a question, the answer is almost always no. Never write a news headline as a question, because if you have to write the question, the answer to it is almost always no. For instance, the article that I bumped into earlier today, can the Toronto Raptors beat the Cleveland Cavaliers? No. That is your answer. No. You wouldn't ask the question the other way around, because we know Cleveland can stomp Toronto into the dust, which they probably will. I've got Cleveland winning that series in 5. Because first off, no Valanciunas for the Raptors in game 1 and 2. And if you can't defend the rim and you can't grab rebounds over Cleveland, they will level you. Though I do like the matchup of Kyle Lowry versus Kyrie Irving. I like that matchup a lot. I think the two of them really match up well against each other. Kyle Lowry being obviously the better defender, and Kyrie Irving being something of a turnstile. That guy gives up a lot of points. So I'm wondering how they're going to disguise Kyrie against Lowry, but Lowry's not the greatest offensive player. Kyrie doesn't have to defend like he's defending Westbrook. Lowry's good, but Lowry's been turning it on so far these playoffs in the last few games. He's come into the playoffs. But for most of the playoffs, he's been offensively below his own average, much less below average. And so I'm interested in seeing how it is that they're going to play Lowry. Are they going to play him like he played in game 6 and game 7? Or are they going to play Kyle Lowry like he played for the rest of the postseason, which is just dreadful, shooting terribly from 3, shooting terribly from 2, just shooting terribly in general and not particularly being effective even attacking the basket. So I don't know what the plan is there, but I'm interested in seeing what it is that they're going to do. But Cleveland shoots a lot of threes these days. I don't know if you've noticed. They've changed the way that they've played. They shoot a lot of threes. They're getting Kevin Love out from beyond the arc. And that's something that Miami couldn't do to Toronto, to punish them for being awful at offense otherwise and just abusing the rim with a lot of missed shots. And so, you know, Cleveland's going to make them pay for some of this stuff. And I think they're going to have a night where the shots don't fall, and they might lose that game, but more than likely they will win 4 games rather quickly. Because I don't like Toronto's defense without Valanciunas, and I don't like Toronto's defense against Irving and James and Love. that's a bad trio to run into. They score about 65% of their team's points on a nightly basis. That is an incredible amount of points to score for your team. So yeah, talk about big three. They're still running that equation. I don't think teams necessarily need a big three anymore, but you do need at least two really, really great guys. And you see that happening with Oklahoma City. There's not a big three. It's Durant, it's Westbrook, and then like whatever guy wants to step up that night. Could be four sometimes. Same thing goes for Golden State. You're with Steph, you're with Clay, and then like whoever is pouring in that night, whether it's Iguodala, who does a great job off the bench, whether it's Bogut if the matchup allows for it, Harrison Barnes knocking down corner threes. You've got a lot of that going on. You're listening to AM 1240, Hot News, Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. That's me. Thank you for joining me today, giving me just a little slice of your time. You know that I appreciate you. And again, my apologies. I have to offer them. We're going to get this fixed, okay? Because this is just the nature of tracking people down and making sure that you get your guests aligned on radio, is that sometimes you think you've got somebody and then you don't. And I'm the producer of the show also. So I've got to track down everybody and find them. And then, you know, while I'm doing the show, I'm trying to figure out like, well, are we doing the interview? Are we not doing the interview? So I apologize. I promised UTC softball, and I did not necessarily deliver on that in the way that I would have liked. But moving forward, right? Lessons learned. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. But the Mocs had a lot of things I wanted to ask about their ability to overcome not having a lot of the power that they usually have in a given season. The Mocs usually have a lot of power, and they were trailing the Southern Conference in home runs. So I wanted to know about that. Talk a little bit about that. Was really interested in asking that question. So now we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Coming up this week on the show, I would really like to talk some rugby. There's a young man in Cleveland trying out for the rugby team, USA Rugby. So I'm interested in that. We're going to try and get him on the show this week. And some of you may have seen him on the Fifth Quarter. We're going to try and get Chris Goforth to crash the show. And he's great. He's a good friend of mine, and that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that as well. One of the things that you hesitate to talk about, because it's so much about the spirit of the human spirit and the American spirit, is the Olympics. I try not to come down too hard on the Olympics. I've had multiple opportunities over the past month to talk about the Olympics. None of those stories are good. And I'm not trying to be down on the Olympics like, yeah, let's kick it while it's down, because they've obviously got problems. But I'm serious. Right now, I think that I'm going to take my ban on the Olympics and remove it. What is wrong with the Olympics? Like, are we actually going to have them? Are we going to go through with this? I think we shouldn't. I think we should cancel this. I understand how much money goes into setting up for the Olympics, but I'm dead serious. We need to not have the Olympics, okay? We couldn't have the water sports because there was fecal matter in the water, and they said they were going to clean it, and then it never got cleaned, and so maybe we won't have those. We've got the Zika virus, okay? So you can't even, you might be bitten by a mosquito, and you can't be, intimate with your wife or whatever, because you might pass on the Zika virus to her and any resulting offspring. You can't do that. And then Brazil is in political unrest. Have we forgotten this? We can't have the Olympics, guys. I'm serious. This is kind of coming out of nowhere, but I'm dead serious. We can't have the Olympics. That is such a horrible idea. The more stories that continue to come out about this, the more that I become aware We cannot have the Olympics. And I don't want to be anti-human spirit. I'm pro the Olympics, okay? Like the last Olympics, I sat down and watched all of it because I wasn't doing anything at the time. You know, I was a student and I was on summer break. I sat my butt down in that chair. I watched every Olympic event. I like them. I don't know. I really was sticking around for the basketball because watching Team USA steamroll people is super fun. But I was there for everything. We can't do this year. This is a bad idea. You've been listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. Thank you for joining me today, giving me just a little bit of your time. You know that I appreciate you. Remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Stay clutch.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. Shake, shake, shake it at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. The most delicious and unique milkshakes. How about this for delicious and different? Add freshly cooked bacon to any milkshake.
Is that even legal?
You bet your milkshake and booty it is. Chocolate caramel bacon shake. Coffee caramel shake. All hand blended. Shake, shake, shake it. Down at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Just about any flavor shake that you can imagine. And they are delicious. Get your shake, shake, shake on at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Five Guys Burgers and Fries, located in Hickson at North Point. Gun Barrel at the Walmart Center. Downtown 4th and Broad. And in Cleveland at Keith and Stewart. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
Do you feel better outside your home or business than in? Indoor air quality is important. Mildew, mold, smoke, water, and rodent damage are prime causes of poor indoor air quality. Ducts, Indoor Air Professionals, better known as Duct Busters, cleans HVAC systems using 127 definable Duct Busters steps. Let Mark Thompson address the indoor air quality at your business to help reduce employee illnesses. Prevent fires by cleaning your dryer vents. Mark and his parents, Dick and Joan Thompson, have been building our local economy and helping local people with HVAC systems 16 years. Ducts, Indoor Air Professionals. Call 876-9907. 876-9907. Ducks. Call now.
Cash, 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 and more cash. Rick Davis is sitting on a mountain of cash, and he wants to give it to you. Hey, it's a fair trade for unwanted coins, diamonds, bracelets, antiques, silver flatware, pocket and wristwatches.